fair, balanced and mutually beneficial bilateral trade agreement in March 2025 with a target to complete the first tranche of the agreement by fall of 2025. The two sides finalized the detailed terms of reference to enter into negotiations of the BTA on 29th March 2025 during the first physical round of discussions held at New Delhi. Thereafter, 4 physical rounds of negotiations have taken place between both sides in New Delhi and Washington, D.C. to work towards finalization of the BTA in accordance with the agreed terms of reference. In addition, there have been many virtual meetings between the two sides. Mr. Chairman, sir, the implications of the recent development are being examined by the government. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry is engaged with all stakeholders, including exporters and industry, for taking feedback of their assessment of the situation. The government attaches the utmost importance to protecting and promoting the welfare of our farmers, workers, entrepreneurs, exporters, MSMEs, and all sections of industry. We will take all necessary steps to secure and advance our national interest. Mr. Chairman, sir, in just over a decade, India has rapidly transformed from being one of the fragile 5 to the fastest growing major economy in the world. We have risen from the 11th largest economy to one of the top 5 economies, driven by our reforms, hard work of our farmers, MSMEs and entrepreneurs. It is also widely expected that we will become the 3rd largest economy in a few years. Today, international institutions and economists see India as the bright spot in the global economy. India is contributing to almost 16% of global growth. Mr. Chairman, sir, in the last decade, the government has taken transformative measures to promote India as the manufacturing hub of the world, driven by the Make in India initiative. India's young, skilled and talented workforce is driving innovation and competitiveness of Indian industry. Our exports have steadily increased during the last 11 years. In an increasingly protectionist world, India has done mutually beneficial trade agreements with UAE, UK, Australia and EFTA countries. We are also committed to similar trade agreements with other countries. We are consistently working for the welfare of the farmers and Indian agriculture to promote prosperity and ensure food security.
Dolaji, I warn you. Please come up. Please. Dolaji, please. Please. Dolaji, Dolaji, don't disturb. Please. Don't disturb. Please.
The government is confident that we will continue our fast-paced journey of inclusive growth and sustainable development towards the goal of Viksit Bharat 2047. Chairman sir, आत्मनिर्भरता की ओर भारत आत्मविश्वास के साथ बढ़ रहा है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अंग्रेजी में भी
हिंदी में पढ़ना चाहिए,
अंग्रेजी में भी पढ़ना चाहिए।
अंग्रेजी पढ़ लिया, अंग्रेजी पढ़ा फिर
हिंदी में भी पढ़ना चाहिए। मैं पीछे से
आप जहां से पढ़ना हो।
मैं सदन को 30 जुलाई 2025 को अमेरिकी राष्ट्रपति द्वारा 1 अगस्त 2025 से द्विपक्षीय व्यापार पर लागू होने वाले टैरिफ के विषय पर दिए गए वक्तव्य के बारे में अवगत कराना चाहता हूं। 2 अप्रैल 2025 को अमेरिकी राष्ट्रपति ने रेसिप्रोकल टैरिफ पर एक एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑर्डर जारी किया था, जिसके तहत अपने व्यापारिक साझेदारों से आयात पर 10% से 50% तक एडिशनल ड्यूटी लगाने की बात कही गई थी। 10% की बेसलाइन ड्यूटी 5 अप्रैल 2025 से लागू हो गई थी। भारत पर एडिशनल ड्यूटी 10% के बेसलाइन टैरिफ सहित कुल 26% की घोषणा की गई थी। मूल रूप से फुल कंट्री स्पेसिफिक एडिशनल टैरिफ 9 अप्रैल 2025 से प्रभावी होने वाला था, लेकिन इसे शुरू में 10 अप्रैल 2025 को 90 दिन के लिए स्थगित कर दिया गया और बाद में 1 अगस्त 2025 तक और बढ़ा दिया गया। सभापति महोदय, भारत और अमेरिका ने मार्च 2025 में एक न्यायपूर्ण, संतुलित और पारस्परिक रूप से लाभकारी द्विपक्षीय व्यापार समझौते BTA के लिए बातचीत शुरू की, जिसका लक्ष्य 2025 के फॉल यानी अक्टूबर-नवंबर 2025 तक समझौते के पहले चरण को पूरा करना था। दोनों पक्षों ने 29 मार्च 2025 को नई दिल्ली में आयोजित पहली फिजिकल मीटिंग की चर्चा के दौरान द्विपक्षीय व्यापार समझौते की बातचीत शुरू करने के लिए विस्तृत टर्म्स ऑफ रेफरेंस TOR को अंतिम रूप दिया। इसके बाद दोनों पक्षों के बीच नई दिल्ली और वॉशिंगटन DC में 4 दौर में फिजिकल मीटिंग्स हुई है, ताकि निर्धारित टर्म्स ऑफ रेफरेंस के अनुसार द्विपक्षीय व्यापार समझौते के अंतिम रूप के लिए काम किया जा सके। इसके अलावा दोनों पक्षों के बीच कई वर्चुअल बैठकें भी हुई है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, सरकार हालिया घटनाक्रम से होने वाले प्रभावों का परीक्षण कर रही है। वाणिज्य एवं उद्योग मंत्रालय निर्यातकों और उद्योग सहित सभी हितधारकों से संवाद कर इस विषय पर उनके आकलन की जानकारी ले रहा है। सरकार हमारे किसानों, श्रमिकों, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, उद्यमी, निर्यातकों, सूक्ष्म, लघु एवं मध्यम उद्योगों और उद्योग जगत के सभी हितधारकों के कल्याण की रक्षा और संवर्धन को सर्वोच्च महत्व देती है। हम अपने राष्ट्रीय हितों को सुरक्षित करने और आगे बढ़ाने के लिए सभी आवश्यक कदम उठाएंगे। अध्यक्ष महोदय, मात्र 1 दशक से भी कम समय में भारत फ्रैजाइल 5 अर्थव्यवस्थाओं में से निकलकर दुनिया की सबसे तेजी से बढ़ती प्रमुख अर्थव्यवस्था बन गया है। हम अपने रिफॉर्म्स और अपने किसानों, MSME और उद्यमियों की कड़ी मेहनत के बल पर 11वीं सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था से शीर्ष 5 अर्थव्यवस्थाओं में से एक बन गए हैं। यह भी अपेक्षित है कि हम कुछ ही वर्षों में तीसरी सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था बन जाए। आज अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संस्थाएं और अर्थशास्त्री भारत को वैश्विक अर्थव्यवस्था में एक ब्राइट स्पॉट के रूप में देखते हैं। भारत वैश्विक विकास में लगभग 16% का योगदान दे रहा है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, पिछले दशक में सरकार ने भारत को विश्व के विनिर्माण केंद्र के रूप में बढ़ावा देने के लिए मेक इन इंडिया के अंतर्गत परिवर्तनकारी कदम उठाए। भारत की युवा कुशल और प्रतिभाशाली वर्कफोर्स भारतीय उद्योग की इनोवेशन और प्रतिस्पर्धा की क्षमता को निरंतर मजबूत कर रही है। पिछले 11 वर्षों के दौरान हमारे निर्यात में भी लगातार वृद्धि हुई है। तेजी से संरक्षणवादी होती दुनिया में भारत ने संयुक्त अरब अमीरात, यूएई, यूके, ऑस्ट्रेलिया और एफ्टा यानी 4 देशों का समूह स्विट्जरलैंड, नॉर्वे, लिechtenstein और आइसलैंड देशों के साथ पारस्परिक रूप से लाभकारी व्यापार समझौते किए। हम अन्य देशों के साथ भी इसी तरह के व्यापार समझौते करने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हैं। हम किसानों और भारतीय कृषि के कल्याण के लिए निरंतर कार्य कर रहे हैं, जिससे खाद्य सुरक्षा और समृद्धि सुनिश्चित की जा सके। सरकार को विश्वास है कि हम विकसित भारत 2047 के लक्ष्य की ओर समावेशी और सतत विकास की अपनी तेज गति वाली यात्रा जारी रखेंगे। अध्यक्ष महोदय, आत्मनिर्भरता की ओर भारत आत्मविश्वास के साथ बढ़ रहा है।
Honorable members, please, I draw your attention to Rule 251 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Council of States, which permits a minister to make a statement on a matter of urgent public importance with the stipulation.
Well, so the Commerce Minister now repeating that speech that he made in the Lok Sabha, in the Rajya Sabha, albeit amidst opposition uproar. We're going to slip into a quick commercial breather here, but the Malegaon blast case verdict and the political updates on that particular front right on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Associate sponsor, Anchor Toothpaste, नए ज़माने की नई सुरक्षा.
Massive announcement coming in from US President Donald Trump. He's announced a 25% tariff regime for India along with a penalty.
Something which is very expected from Donald Trump is unpredictability, uncertainty, and the erratic announcement of the tariffs.
Of course, it will be a big jolt to our export-oriented industry. That is for sure.
With monsoon session of the parliament on, Donald Trump going on record to say we'll penalize India for having relationship with both Russia and China is not going to augur very well for the sitting government.
If that pause button is not hit, then India is going to have to deal with this 25% plus X tariff. And I think the big question now is find X. What is that X going to be?
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Continuing where we left off, after nearly 17 years, a special National Investigation Agency court in Mumbai acquitted all the 7 accused, including former BJP Member of Parliament Pragya Singh Thakur, Lieutenant Colonel Prasad Purohit, in the 2008 Malegaon blast case. All accused were already out on bail. Uma Bharti made some shocking revelations in an exclusive interview with TV9. Speaking about Sadhi Pragya, she compared her ordeal in jail to the brutalities under Mughal ruler Aurangzeb.
आज आपके लिए कितना बड़ा पल है जब इतने वर्षों के बाद, लंबी लड़ाई के बाद, कोर्ट ने उन्हें बरी किया है।
वो तो हमेशा से बेगुनाह थे, बेकसूर थे, कसूरवार थे ही नहीं। बस कोर्ट को तथ्य चाहिए होते हैं किसी को बेकसूर साबित करने के लिए। तथ्य तो ये बता रहे हैं कि उनको भयानक यातनाएं हुई हैं। अब कहाँ हैं वो यातना देने वाले लोग? कहाँ हैं भगवा आतंकवाद शब्द का प्रयोग करने वाले लोग? कहाँ हैं हिंदू आतंकवादी शब्द का प्रयोग करने वाले लोग? अब तो उनकी यातनाओं का दौर शुरू होना चाहिए। और मैं साध्वी प्रज्ञा, कर्नल प्रसाद पुरोहित और जो अन्य उनके साथी, उनको इस तरह से बरी होने के लिए बहुत अपने आप को अहोभाग्य मानती हूँ अपना कि मुझे ये समाचार सुनने को मिल गया। उनका बहुत अभिनंदन करूँगी और मैं चाहूँगी कि चिदम्बरम, राहुल गांधी और हमारे बड़े भाई दिग्विजय सिंह जैसे लोगों की कोई तो सजा मुकर्रर होनी चाहिए, चाहे जनता की अदालत में हो, चाहे कानून की अदालत में हो।
आई एम ग्रेटफुल टू द जुडिशियरी for understanding the case and delivering justice to all of us. I only will say that during all this fight, all my friends, my colleagues, especially the armed forces, my army, the way they stood by me, I have no words to express my gratitude towards all of them. We are a great country. I expect and I wish that everyone should contribute positively towards it.
Well, now the blast, which ripped through Malegaon town in Nashik district on the 29th of September that year, claimed 6 lives and left over 100 injured. The court also announced compensation of 2 lakh rupees to each of the kin of the deceased and rupees 50,000 to those injured. The court observed that the chassis number of the motorcycle allegedly used in the blast was found to be wiped out, and there was no cogent or reliable evidence to prove that Pragya Singh Thakur owned that particular vehicle. The court further observed that she had become a sannyasi 2 years before the blast and had distanced herself from material possessions. The court found no evidence to suggest that Lieutenant Colonel Prasad Purohit stored RDX at his residence, transported it from Kashmir, or assembled the bomb at his house. The judge further said, terrorism has no religion, as no religion can advocate violence. Malegaon blast victims' kin have expressed disappointment over the acquittal of all the accused.
इस केस को जो 17 साल हुए हैं, 17 साल बाद इसका जो डिसीजन आया है, उससे हम सभी प्रसन्न हैं। परंतु 17 सालों तक हम लोगों ने जो संघर्ष किया, जो प्रताड़ना झेली है, वो अवर्णनीय है।
फैसला जो आया, फैसला कोर्ट में सुनकर तो बहुत तबीयत दुख हुई, क्योंकि 29 सितंबर 2008 को जो है वहाँ पर बम ब्लास्ट हुआ था, लोगों ने देखा है और सैकड़ों से ज़्यादा लोग जख्मी हुए थे, 5 से 7 लोग जो है शहीद हुए थे। ये गवर्नमेंट इसको माना है, गवर्नमेंट ने उनको 2 लाख रुपया मुआवजा दिया और जो सीरियस इंजरी थे उनको 50,000 का मुआवजा दिया गया। तो 10 नंबर का जो एक्यूज है वो बोलता है कि वहाँ बम ब्लास्ट हुआ ही नहीं है, लेकिन बम ब्लास्ट हुआ है तब तो इतने सालों जो है ये चला है।
ये सिर्फ पॉलिटिकल नरेशन था और कुछ भी नहीं था, और जो आपका जो आतंकवाद का विषय था ऐसा कोई विषय है नहीं। और कोर्ट ने आज साबित कर दिया है कि 17 साल के बाद कि ये कोई घटना इन लोगों से की गई नहीं है।
जो 17 साल पहले जो एविडेंस था, उसी तरह जो 2016 में एनआईए का चार्जशीट आया था, उसमें जो कोई भी मटेरियल था उसी के बेस पे आज कोर्ट ने फैसला सुनाया है। कोर्ट ने ये कहा है कि इस केस में आरडीएक्स कहाँ से लाया गया, किसने लाया, कहाँ बॉम्ब असेंबल किए, आरडीएक्स कहाँ प्लांट किया गया था, ऐसे कोई भी चीजें प्रोसिक्यूशन प्रूव नहीं कर पाई है।
Well, the spell of extremely heavy rainfall in Madhya Pradesh has slowed down, but the situation remains serious in many areas. An alert for heavy rainfall has been issued for 12 districts. In Shivpuri, all schools will remain closed due to the weather conditions. Districts under heavy rain alert include Nimush, Mandsaur, Shiopur, Morena, Shivpuri, Guna, Ashoknagar, Panddurna, Chhindwara, Sioni, Balaghat and Mandla. Senior Met officials have said that a cyclonic circulation and throw activity have been observed in the central region of the state of Madhya Pradesh, which led to the incessant rainfall. However, the system is expected to weaken soon and the spell of heavy rain will come to an end. The Delhi National Capital Region continues to reel under monsoon showers, with the Regional Met Centre forecasting rain to persist till the 3rd of August in the Delhi NCR area. As per Met Department, several parts of the capital recorded moderate rainfall till 6:30 a.m. today. Pusa saw 40 millimeters, Sports Complex about 38 mm, Safdarjung at 34, Najafgarh 23.5 millimeter of rainfall. And the IMD has issued an orange alert for Delhi NCR, warning of light to moderate rain accompanied by thunderstorms, lightning and winds of up to 40 kilometers per hour. Heavy rain triggered widespread waterlogging in various areas and traffic snarls across the region, including in Ghaziabad, disrupting daily life. However, the showers brought some relief on the pollution front, but according to the Central Pollution Control Board, July 2025 marked Delhi's cleanest air in over a decade, with the average AQI at 79 falling in the satisfactory category. Meanwhile, several vehicles were damaged as the basement of a residential society in Ghaziabad's Crossings Republic collapsed due to heavy rains. Multiple vehicles that were parked in the basement area were being removed since the morning as the rescue operations continued. Vehicles were badly damaged in the incident and a bulldozer had to be called in to the spot to remove the vehicles from the debris. Videos showed vehicles being completely damaged. Local people have blamed the negligence of the drainage for this particular incident. News 9 brings you a ground report. Take a look.
Vice President there with me of the society. Sir, क्या हुआ था कल रात? आप कब से इधर हैं?
नाले से पानी ओवरफ्लो होकर काफ़ी पानी अंदर आया। रोड पे कम से कम 3 फुट ऊपर पानी था। पूरी रोड हमारी टूटी हुई है, आने जाने की समस्या है। 3 फुट अंदर पानी से होकर आना जाना पड़ता, वो ओवरफ्लो होकर पानी सब यहाँ आया, जिससे ये इन्होंने बैरिकेड कुछ नहीं लगाया।
किस क्या ये अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन थी? बिल्डिंग का जो मुझे बेसमेंट दिख रहा है, हम देख सकते हैं, क्या ये अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन था?
बिल्डिंग कंप्लीट है, इन्होंने जो बेसमेंट है ये कंप्लीट नहीं किया है, ना ही तो इसमें कोई आरसीसी का वो बनाया गया है सेफ्टी के लिए। वो पानी के मिट्टी की कट गई है पानी आने से और बेसमेंट में टोटल पानी चला है। गाड़ी भी जो बाहर खड़ी हुई थी वो बेसमेंट में चली गई है।
अब सारी गाड़ियों को निकाल लिया गया है, क्या सिचुएशन है?
2 व्हीलर अभी नीचे दबे हुए हैं, 4 व्हीलर निकाल दिए गए हैं।
Cars completely damaged and the residents left in the lurch. Who's going to come to address their ordeals? Interesting developments, but for now, a quick commercial breather here. My colleague Samir Kapoor with the latest right on the other side.
This is India's #1 news network and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Associate sponsor, Anchor Toothpaste, नए जमाने की नई सुरक्षा.
A small window of hope has opened for Nimisha Priya. You know, human beings live by hope. Is Vijay challenging Dravidian party? Payments have been made, but no books inside. If there is corruption at the BO office, maybe I want to learn Hindi, that I do not know how to speak Kannada. Go to the second part.
We don't want to have Hindi compulsion.
2 kids were asked to clean the toilet because of their caste. All these kids were forced to do it. I will clearly protest against this. 3 passes, Mr. Gowda. People rush. I'm asking you, what makes Palaniswamy so confident? We're sitting on moral boulders. Tamil Nadu seems to have become extremely unsafe.
Women in West Bengal should be assured that it is a safe place for them, because justice should be done, served cold, quickly, and it should be done in a way that it is transparent. peace and prosperity cannot coexist with terrorism and proliferation of weapons of mass destruction in the hands of terror groups. These visuals are the most defining moment when India's defense minister called out China's bluff. The memories of emergency have again become very, very relevant. There is no excuse. It subverted our constitution.
On this special edition of the Brandwalas, we get you the best of the best. This is the best of Brandwalas from the auto sector. From power-packed engines to customer-driven innovation, the auto sector is in top gear, and behind every bold campaign is a visionary marketer. And we drive into the minds of those who are driving marketing for some of the biggest brands in India's auto sector. These Brandwalas don't just sell vehicles, they engineer desire, trust, and futuristic experiences. From rural roads to urban dreams, from dealerships to digital touchpoints, they are navigators of change, architects of desire, and custodians of legacy. In candid conversations, these marketing leaders open up about the campaigns that work, how AI is reshaping marketing, and the road ahead. They also tell us what they love about their jobs and what they don't. It's not just about horsepower anymore. It's about brand power, purpose, and perception.
Light, camera, and action. Kick back, relax, grab your favorite snack because News 9 is here with your weekend dose of entertainment. It's time to take a deeper dive into the buzzworthy happenings of the entertainment world. From celebrity gossips to exclusive conversations, from nostalgic moments to News 9's pick of the week, don't worry, we've got you covered here. And I hope you've grabbed your popcorn by now because News 9's page 3 is here to serve you everything that we call entertainment. So do stay tuned every Saturday and Sunday, 2:30 p.m.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Good evening, hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching News 9 and I'm Samia Kapoor, and let's take you through the top stories of the day. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, speaking in Parliament on Trump's tariffs, says the government will take all steps to protect national interest and adds India is on track to become the world's third largest economy. NIA court acquits all 7 accused in 2008 Malegaon blast case, cites lack of evidence and convincing proof. Big relief for Sadhvi Pragya in 2008 Malegaon blast case, says NIA court verdict a victory of Hindutva. As the battle for polls in Tamil Nadu heats up, O. Pannirselvam withdraws from NDA alliance. SIT finds partial skeletal remains at 6th site in Dharmastala's mass burial probe. Donald Trump mounts attack on India and Russia again for their close ties. Says, I don't care for what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together.
Magnitude 6.7 earthquake strikes east of Kuril Islands region in Russia's far east. And the top story that we are keeping our close focus on is where suspected human skeletal remains have been found at Spot 6 near Netravali River, marking a significant development in the ongoing special investigation team probe into the alleged mass burials. Now, the remains were discovered on the third day of excavation at the site. Excavations are underway at 13 locations identified by a former sanitation worker who claims to have buried several bodies between 1995 and 2014. Now, on 28th July, the former worker led officials to the burial spots near the Snanaghata or the bathing plain on the banks of the river. Officials from the Revenue, Forest and other departments were present during the on-site investigation. Now, according to the SIT sources, partial human skeletal remains were recovered from Spot 6 and the SIT is now working on identifying the remains and continuing the researches at other sites to determine the extent of the alleged mass burials. Well, this is our top story this evening. As far as the Dharmasthala ongoing investigation is concerned, suspected human skeletal remains have been found at Spot 6 near the Netravati River, marking a significant development in the ongoing special investigation team. The probe is into the mass burial, an alleged mass burial, and this has come to light after a sanitation worker had mentioned that he had buried several bodies between 1995 and 2014. On 28 July, the former worker led officials to the burial spots near the Snanaghata or the bathing plain on the banks of the river. Officials from the Revenue, Forest and other departments were present during the on-site investigation. My colleague Gautam is joining me right now to get us more details. Well, Gautam, at the very outset, I want to ask you, what more can you tell us about the findings on the third day of the operation by the SIT?
Yes, Samia. So on the third consecutive day of this excavation process that is going on along the riverbank of Netravati and the adjoining reserved forest area, is that they have found suspected human remains. Now, the SIT itself has not officially confirmed these findings, but what we gather from the people who are present at the spot and our sources there is that while excavating from the spot number 6, the SIT has uncovered several suspicious objects as well besides these skeletal remains, and it remains unclear what these other items that have been found as well, and the further examination is underway regarding that as well. Now, these bone fragments that have been found, they were discovered during the digging operations of the 6th location. Keep in mind here that the whistleblower has pointed out to 13 spots where he had actually buried what he claims to have buried several people, and among the 13 spots, the investigators are moving from one spot to another. So over the last couple of days, they had covered 5 spots. So today, the entire day went in excavating this 6th spot where we have found actually some skeletal objects as well. Now, the spot itself is quickly filling up with water because the entire day there has been incessant rain here, Samia. So the investigators are actually finding it very difficult to ensure that even as they continue to dig, it's immediately filling up with water. So the excavating process will continue as much as the daylight provides, and the SIT is actually going to look into some other spots as well. Keep in mind that they're not going to go according to the order. So far, they have gone according to the order of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But tomorrow, what we understand is that they will go directly to spot number 13, because what this whistleblower claims is that there are a lot more human skeletal remains that are likely to be found in this spot. So that way, we could see this entire process being expedited, Samia.
Absolutely, Gautam. But as far as the third day is concerned, what happens with the, alleged skeletal remains that have now been found? What's going to happen with it now?
Yes, Samia. So the skeletal remains that have been found right now will be sent to an FSL lab. So the forensic team is also there present with the SIT team as well, which is led by DIG Pradap Mohanty, and they will look into. And what's also a significant development that has happened today, Samya, is that the SIT has set up a helpline for public to share information as well. So they are asking people who believe are victims of the family of victims to come forward and contact and share information or register their complaints. They have appealed to the public for cooperation, and basically they are encouraging anyone with relevant information to come forward. So this is a significant step here by the SIT, given the fact that skeletal remains have now been found. There were a lot of people who were actually hesitant to come forward and lodge a complaint as well. But now that the whistleblower has actually come forward and taking up or pointing out to the spots where skeletal remains are being found, the officials believe that opening up this helpline will encourage family members of these suspected victims to come forward, and actually then they can match up the DNA information from the skeletal remains that have been found with the family members, and this could actually be a big breakthrough in this case as well. So a lot is happening from day 3 onwards, but still keep in mind that there are 7 spots that are yet to be looked into here, Samya.
Absolutely. We will be keeping a close track of all the developments on the story, but how will the investigation, Gautam, will proceed from here?
Yes, Samya. So right now, as the skeletal remains being found here on day 3, this really lends a lot of credibility to the claims that have been made by this whistleblower who had actually worked in Dharmasthala premises. He claims that he was here working from 1995 to 2014, and he actually claims that over 100 bodies is what he has buried over there, and some of them are not just women, there are children, destitute people as well, and even men. So this actually lends a lot of credibility to the theory that this could be a mass burial site, and it could open up the investigation to in a broader way. Now, also another interesting development that has taken place today is that we are hearing that the SIT chief is likely to be replaced, and he could be going on central government duty as well. And this is something that has been confirmed by Chief Minister Siddaramaiah himself, that the senior IPS officer, Pradap Mohanty, who is actually heading the SIT, he could actually be transferred on central government duty. Now, the decision is to be taken by the Home Minister G. Parmeshwara in this regard. So far, there hasn't been anything solid that has developed on this regard. But what we understand is that there is speculation that Mohanty, the DGP, who is actually heading the SIT, could be replaced as well. So, interesting developments. We are not sure if there's any sort of politics or anything going around with all of these information, but it could very likely happen as well, Samir.
Absolutely, Gautam. Thank you for getting us all those details. We will be keeping a close track of all the developments taking place on the story and shall keep coming back to you for more on it. And now, of course, moving on to some other stories that we are tracking is where a college student was killed after allegedly being deliberately run over by a car in Chennai's Thirumangalam area. The police have arrested 3 individuals in connection with the incident, including Chandru, the grandson of DMK headquarters executive committee member Dhanasekharan. Now, the deceased, Nitin Sai, was a third-year BA student at Vivekananda College, Malapur. He was riding a two-wheeler near SBOA school, Anna Nagar, along with a friend when the vehicle was hit from behind. Sai suffered severe head injuries and died on the spot. His friend sustained injuries and is now currently being treated at Kilpauk Government Hospital. Initially treated as an accident, the case turned after Sai's family alleged it was a planned murder. Now, the police reviewed the CCTV footage and found that the accused were targeting another student over a prior dispute. But when the intended target escaped, Nitin Sai, a senior, was hit instead. 3 students, Chandru, Aaron and Ashwant, have been arrested. All were remanded to judicial custody until 13th August. And now shifting our focus to some of the stories that we are tracking is where in the ongoing Mullaperiyar dam safety dispute between Tamil Nadu and Kerala, the Supreme Court has asked the union government to expedite the process of granting environmental clearance for tree felling related to the dam's repair work. Now a bench comprising Justices Suryakant, Dipankar Datta and N. Koteshwar Singh was informed that the Kerala government has granted its no objection to Tamil Nadu for the felling of trees. Now, the court noted that the centre's approval was still pending and directed the Union of India to verify the Kerala government's clearance and take necessary steps to grant environmental clearance within 4 weeks. Earlier, Tamil Nadu had alleged that Kerala arbitrarily revoked its earlier permission for tree felling, even though Tamil Nadu had already applied to the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Senior advocate Nafare pointed out that no progress has been made so far by the MOEF. Now, on the other hand, Kerala Council Jaideep Gupta submitted that the chairman of the supervisory committee has already issued directions for carrying out repair work and sought an extension of the 4-week deadline to complete related processes. The court also referred to the supervisory committee latest report and directed Tamil Nadu to carry out the proposed study on the dam structure. It further stated that Kerala must grant permission for grouting work following that study. Regarding the third issue, structural repair, the court accepted Kerala's submission that work should commence post-monsoon and said that in May, the court had directed both states to implement the recommendations of the supervisory committee. Today, both states assured the bench that positive steps were being taken. And with that, we're slipping into a short break right now. Lots more lined up. Stay tuned and keep watching News 9.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Associate sponsor, Dyna Premium Beauty Soap. पहली झलक करे खूबसूरत.
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every scene, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
A deep dive into what matters to you the most. Angles you won't find anywhere else. News that impacts your life.
Massive announcement coming in from US President Donald Trump. He's announced a 25% tariff regime for India along with a penalty.
Something which is very expected from Donald Trump is unpredictability, uncertainty and, the erratic announcement of the tariffs.
Of course, it will be a big jolt to our export-oriented industry. That is for sure.
With monsoon session of the parliament on, Donald Trump going on record to say we'll penalize India for having relationship with both Russia and China is not going to augur very well for the sitting government.
If that pause button is not hit, then India is going to have to deal with this 25% plus X tariff. And I think the big question now is find X. What is that X going to be?
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Welcome back. Now, in a move that could rattle alliance equations ahead of the 2026 Tamil Nadu Assembly polls, the former Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam has officially walked out of the BJP-led NDA. But every time a political heavyweight walks out of an alliance, speculation follows, and this time it's OPS. The former Chief Minister has quit the BJP-led NDA, a fallout many believe triggered by a snub from the Prime Minister's office. Now, what exactly happened was that OPS had written to Prime Minister Modi seeking permission to receive him at Tuticorin Airport during his Tamil Nadu visit. That request was denied, leaving the OPS camp visibly miffed. But there's another twist in the tale. Just hours before announcing his exit, OPS met Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. Now, was this just optics or a strategic overture? Following an internal meeting on Wednesday, the OPS faction formally announced its split from the NDA. Now, at the Madurai airport, OPS told reporters that he would reveal his next move from Chennai. But the signs had been building. OPS recently criticized the Centre for Delayed Education Funds under the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. And the development also comes against the backdrop of the long-running power tussle between the AIA-DMK factions, where EPS holds organizational control and OPS has been politically sidelined. All eyes are now on whether OPS will attempt to forge a new alliance bloc ahead of the 2026 Assembly elections, a move that could reshape Tamil Nadu's opposition landscape.
Since ADMK was there, maybe the BJP might have thought that with the EPS on their side, he will not accept OPS or something like that. So the Chief Minister, the Prime Minister also, when he came, he did not meet OPS. Maybe that is the reason. OPS is not a leader. What he feels is that if these people come in, our position as leader will go, because he is not a leader. He is now a slave of the BJP. Somehow he wants to protect himself.
And to discuss this further, I'm joined by retired Lieutenant Commodore Gokul Chandra here with me, who's a political analyst. Good evening, Mr. Chandra, here at News 9. At the very outset, sir, I would like to ask you, how do you look at this political divorce that has taken place between the AIA-DMK and the BJP? Why is there a sudden love lost between the AIA-DMK's Pannirselvam and the BJP?
See, good evening. See, the basic point here is the BJP has opted for the biggest alliance partner, because EPS and OPS with the rivalry, which is well known, I don't think they would go together. EPS must have put a condition that if OPS comes in, then the alliance will be some shaky. So BJP must have thought EPS with more numbers and more political muscle, EPS is more convenient to be in the partnership than OPS. But always remember, during the last Lok Sabha election, when no one was ready to have an alliance with BJP, OPS stood with BJP. But now the times have changed. EPS have come back to the NDA faction. So now BJP, from its side, it must have felt that keeping EPS more merrier is much needed of the hour. And see, OPS per se, see, by numbers, if you go by the numbers, OPS doesn't have much of clout over any part of Tamil Nadu. By numbers, if you go by the numbers, OPS doesn't have much of clout over any part of Tamil Nadu. Though he was the former Chief Minister when Ms. Jayalalitha was in jail or hospitalized, whenever Mr. OPS was the first choice for the Chief Ministership. But other than that, he doesn't have any clout over the ADMK party or in any region. So obviously, in a political game, we know the numbers matters much than the optics. So BJP opted for EPS than OPS.
But Mr. Chandra, what explains this move right now at this juncture is because right ahead of the Tamil Nadu Assembly election that is slated for next year, this could also be a political posturing. What exactly is going to be the game plan for Pannirselvam ahead?
See, Mr. Pannirselvam, in this alliance, the biggest fight is going to be between BJP and ADMK for the seat sharing. Before the elections, there will be a big fight between BJP and ADMK on who is going to contest how much seats. So EPS knows if he doesn't get a majority after the elections, then it will be a coalition government where things will be dictated by BJP. So what they want is at least ADMK would be trying to contest at least 150 seats. And BJP also on its own, they would be looking around 70-75 seats. With all this together, they will be EPS would be what EPS would think. If OPS comes in, then he will have to give a share of the seats which BJP allots to OPS faction, or if OPS faction wins some seat, then they will be dictating terms. So EPS doesn't want OPS. That's the biggest factor here. As far as elections are concerned, I don't think OPS would bring any benefit to any of the tables, either to the NDA side or the DMK side. We saw Mr. OPS meeting Mr. M.K. Stalin today. Very informal, it was an informal meeting, it seemed. But still, Mr. OPS doesn't have that much of numbers to bargain for any seats or any alliance. I don't think Mr. OPS has any bargaining power actually. So this is, I think this shouldn't be a bigger issue by numbers, by arithmetic, but optics, yes. When you look at the optics, always you would say, see, BJP is such a party which goes behind power than the trusted partners. Even when Mr. OPS is a trusted partner, they are leaving out Mr. OPS to accommodate EPS, who is not a trusted partner. Even now, they have their own share of fight, even before the elections. So he's not a trusted partner, but he has the numbers, he has the votes. So BJP goes for votes and number than for the trust.
Absolutely, Mr. Chandra, but we can't really rule out the option of a post-poll alliance if all goes well, because it's a dynamic space. We are talking right now in July 2025, the elections in 2026. A lot can happen in the meanwhile, Mr. Chandra.
Yeah, see, for the now the option left for Mr. OPS is maybe ally with Vijay's party, the TVK. So still, I'm not sure how much TVK and OPS can win. Even the only choice for Mr. OPS to win at least one seat, his seat or his seat for his son, OP Ravindranath, the ex-MP, maybe for one seat they will have to ally with DMK. Even if they ally with DMK and they'll be having one or maximum 1 or 2 seats, I don't think they'll be having much of seats. So this post-poll alliance scenario, I don't think the election results will be so close so that OPS can pitch in or shift sides to decide the mandate.
Absolutely, Mr. Chandra, can't rule that out. But you mentioned about political optics. What do you make of the optics of OPS meeting Stalin before this announcement was made? There's going to be an oversight if we do not address the elephant in the room. What exactly is happening there?
See, that is just, I think Mr. OPS just want to put pressure on the BJP. See, I have other options. If you don't accommodate me, see, these are few small gestures. Usually, BJP is very good in accommodating its allies in other states. If you see, even in Andhra Pradesh, they brought together the Pawan Kalyan's party, Chidambaram Nadu, BJP itself. And usually BJP in many states I have seen they are very good in accommodating the smaller parties. But I don't know in Tamil Nadu. See, in Tamil Nadu, in each and every other state, the alliance is decided and dictated by BJP. The BJP is the bigger partner. Even if the numbers are less, they have the power to dictate the alliance. But in Tamil Nadu, if you see, right from getting rid of Annamalai from the state president of BJP to many changes recently we see in BJP, EPS and the ADMK is dictating terms to BJP on how it should be, how the outcome should be, how it should go ahead.
But Mr. Chandra, the BJP also let AIADMK have the upper hand. When this alliance was also being officially announced, the BJP made it very clear that they are not going to be the one leading the bloc as far as the opposition in Tamil Nadu is concerned. They will let AIADMK take the lead. Exactly.
In no other state we have seen that. In each and every other state, let it be Maharashtra Or let's see, take any other state where there is a coalition for BJP. BJP always takes the upper hand and they say, no, we are the bigger party or we are the powerful party. We are going to lead this alliance. All other parties will be our junior partners. Only in Tamil Nadu, BJP is not able to dictate terms to ADMK and Mr. EPS.
But Mr. Chandra, then if AIADMK is not letting, accommodating OPS, then how will the three members would perhaps make it for a strong opposition against Stalin then? What is going to be the new alliance formula then if OPS decides to forge new ties with parties over and beyond BJP?
See, as I said earlier, Mr. OPS might not make much of the change by arithmetic numbers. But then, see, another interesting development is DMDK, Mrs. Pralada Vijaykanth, she is moving towards DMK, and if BJP cannot rope in her, then it will be a huge victory for the DMK alliance if they are able to get in a faction of PMK and DMDK itself. Because Mr.
Chandra, it's also a fight for political survival for OPS. Why would he want to let go of an alliance that is going to ensure that he gets a foothold in case it comes to power?
No, see, OPS didn't have a chance. OPS is being pushed out, cornered. It is not that OPS is walking away from the alliance. Last time when Mr. Modi was visiting Tamil Nadu, he wanted an audience with Mr. Modi, but it was denied. And when EPS is dictating things, they cannot listen to Mr. OPS, who doesn't have much clout. So it is not Mr. OPS walking away from the alliance. It is he's being pushed out of the alliance. That's what I can read.
Okay, but we are going to be keeping a close track of all the developments taking place. Interesting times ahead in Tamil Nadu, especially ahead of the election. Which side will OPS eventually be seen when the elections are around the corner? But for now, thank you, Lieutenant Commodore Gokul Chandra, for taking our time and joining us over here and sharing your views on the story that we are keeping a close track of. And with that, we're slipping into a short break right now. Lots more lined up. Stay tuned and keep watching Newsline.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Associate sponsor, Anchor Toothpaste, नए ज़माने की नई सुरक्षा.
On this special edition of the Brandwalas, we get you the best of the best. This is the best of Brandwalas from the auto sector. From power-packed engines to customer-driven innovation, the auto sector is in top gear, and behind every bold campaign is a visionary marketer. And we drive into the minds of those who are driving marketing for some of the biggest brands in India's auto sector. These brandwalas don't just sell vehicles, they engineer desire, trust, and futuristic experiences. From rural roads to urban dreams, from dealerships to digital touchpoints, they are navigators of change, architects of desire, and custodians of legacy. In candid conversations, these marketing leaders open up about the campaigns that work, how AI is reshaping marketing, and the road ahead. They also tell us what they love about their jobs and what they don't. It's not just about horsepower anymore. It's about brand power, purpose, and perception.
Hi, this is Baman Irani.
Hi, this is Karishma Tanna. Hi, I'm Nusha Bharucha.
Catch this conversation on News 9.
Catch this conversation on News 9. Catch me and this conversation on News 9.
Hi, this is Shahid Kapoor, and catch this conversation on News 9.
is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Welcome back. Now, Malayalam rap singer Hiran Das Murli, popularly known as Vedan, has landed in a fresh controversy after a young doctor filed a rape complaint against him. The Trikakara police on Wednesday registered a case against the 30-year-old singer, a native of Thrissur. Now, according to the police, the complainant befriended Vedan through Instagram in 2021. Later that year, he allegedly visited her residence and sexually assaulted her. When she considered approaching the police, Vedan reportedly promised to marry her, following which he continued to sexually abuse her without consent. In her complaint, the woman alleged that she was raped on 5 occasions. Since 2023, the accused allegedly began to distance himself from her, which pushed the victim into emotional trauma. Police said she recently gained the courage to come forward with the complaint, and a detailed statement will be recorded soon. And the police will also move court to record her confidential statement. Meanwhile, Vedan has denied the allegations, claiming that the complainant is part of a conspiracy against him. He said that he has evidence to support his claims and will soon approach the court seeking anticipatory bail.
Basis of a complaint received in Kochi City Police, we have registered a case under section 376 against the rapper Vedan, and the case is registered in Trikakara police station limit. It is being investigated, and yesterday we have registered it. It is in the process, like a preliminary stage of investigation. We will collect all the required evidences and do the needful in this case.
My colleague Vivek Narayanan is joining me right now to get us more details on the story. Vivek, this is not the first time around. Vivek has found, I beg your pardon, Vedan has found himself into a new controversy. But it appears that each time around, he gets away scot-free. Why does he get away with impunity in this manner each time around when he finds himself in the dock?
Yes, in this particular case, the first complaint was filed the first case was reported in 2021. Now, the victim in this case is a young doctor who's filed a complaint with the Trikakara police yesterday. And I also spoke to the lawyer in this case, the lawyer of the victim. The counsel said that, the complaints that's been made are very, very serious. They do have digital evidences to prove that. Now, in the pretext of marriage from 2021 onwards, Vedan had sexually assaulted, the victim at 5 occasions in a flat in Trikakara. Not just in Trikakara, but multiple places. In between that, Vedan also introduced her to his friends at number of occasions. But in 2023, one fine day, Vedan comes to her flat and says that, we're going to end this relationship. He says that, she's quite toxic and she is not allowing him to allow, in relationship with other women. So this is a bizarre argument, statement which he had given to the woman, and she was in mental trauma since then. Remember, it's not the first time, like you said, earlier also, there has been 2 to 3 complaints against her, against, Vedan, in which they have, alleged very, very serious complaints. Charges, and even in the Me Too cases, his name has surfaced back then. But in these cases, it was just Me Too allegations, but no complaint was given at that point of time. There was no case registered. Here, remember, earlier Vedan was arrested by the police, in Ernakulam for possessing drugs. And later he was questioned and he got a bail. Remember, Vedan has been very popular, especially, in stage shows in recent days. And he has also got the support of the ruling political dispensation, because he's been raising the voices of, the downtrodden in the society, those people who are economically weak. And he has always been, raising the issue of caste. So he did have a lot of support, on the ground. But this particular allegation, especially in this particular case, prima facie, what the police says is that it appears to be in a very strong case, because there are digital evidence to prove that. There are WhatsApp chats, there are Telegram chats, and also various other, evidences to prove that Vaden is involved in this case. But Vaden now has said that, he is not involved. There's a conspiracy that's working behind him, and he's been he's been a target of the conspiracy.
Want to know why no action is ever taken against him? Even in this particular case, what police action has been taken? They've registered a case, and yet, he doesn't get nabbed. He is let off scot-free. He has been faced with several such cases where there are grave charges leveled against him, but no action.
That's right, Samia. He has not been questioned even once in this particular case or even the previous cases. That's very, very shocking. And very curious as why even after someone raising such very serious charges, why isn't been even the police not questioned him, detained him? Because usually in such cases when an allegation of this serious nature is being made, obviously the person the accused will be questioned, will be detained by the police. But in this particular case, it's just his version that's come out. That the police has not questioned him. Now, forget his arrest, and that is something very, very shocking. A lot of people, especially in social media, there is a massive campaign against him right now. A lot of people questioning him, and also remember when he was being celebrated as an icon, at least a month ago by various political activists. There are a lot of people who are also been criticizing him for the kind of songs he was singing. They were saying that these songs were basically did not have any particular meaning, any particular symbolic meaning or something. And then his life history and his songs were also included in the Calicut University syllabus. So you can imagine the kind of status he's been enjoying within the ruling political class. And it's at this juncture that such a very serious complaint has come up, and still police is yet to question him. And that's something very, very shocking and very serious.
Absolutely, Vivek. Well, thank you for getting us all those details. We shall leave it at that for the moment. Now, in a major development involving the University of Kerala, Registrar Professor Dr. K.S. Anil Kumar has moved the Kerala High Court challenging his continued suspension despite the university syndicate revoking it earlier this month. Now, in a writ petition, Anil Kumar has sought to quash multiple orders issued by the Vice Chancellor that continued to prevent him from rejoining duty. The matter was heard by Justice T.R. Ravi, who admitted the petition and issued notice to the respondents. The case has been posted for further hearing on Monday, where the court will consider interim release. The suspension order, dated 2nd July 2025, was issued by the Vice Chancellor. The action was allegedly linked to a seminar conducted in the Senate Hall by the Sri Padmanabha Seva Samiti. The Vice Chancellor accused the Registrar of procedural lapses and campus mismanagement, citing unrest as grounds of suspension. However, on 6 July 2025, a university syndicate, citing its statutory authority, resolved to revoke the suspension, following which Dr. Anil Kumar formally resumed office. Now, despite this, the Vice Chancellor allegedly issued a fresh directions insisting that the registrar continued to remain suspended. Orders were passed to bar him from entering the campus or processing any university files. Now, in his appeal, the registrar contends that the Vice Chancellor acted beyond his powers. He argues that while Section 10(13) allows emergency suspension, it requires ratification by the syndicate in its next meeting. Now, since the syndicate is already overturned the decision, he asserts that his continued suspension is illegal and a colorable exercise of power. Dr. Anil Kumar has urged the court to set aside the Vice Chancellor's subsequent orders and allow him to function without obstructions. Now, moving on to some other stories that we are tracking is where one of Karnataka's biggest cyber heist has sent shockwaves through India's crypto community. Unidentified hackers stole a whopping 378 crore from a Bengaluru-based cryptocurrency firm, Nebula Technologies, and in a twist, the trail has led to a former part-time employee. The heist began with a minor test transaction around 2:37 a.m., just 1 USDT, But by 9:40 a.m., the hackers had pulled off a full-scale digital theft. They siphoned off 44 million US dollars worth 378 crore from Nebilo's servers into another wallet. Company officials suspect that the hackers may have accessed the server through a laptop used by Rahul Agarwal, a former freelance staffer. He is now under arrest. This isn't just another crypto breach. This may be one of Karnataka's biggest cyber frauds in history. Whitefield Cybercrime Police are now on a full-scale investigation to trace the stolen crypto trail and unearth the full web of conspirators. One of the biggest cyber heists that has been pulled off in Karnataka has sent a shockwaves throughout India's crypto community, where hackers stole a whopping 378 crore from a Bengaluru-based cryptocurrency. Now, while the investigation is on, it appears that a former part-time employee was someone who led to the entire heist. The heist, which began around roughly 2:37 a.m., which is 1 USDT, ended up becoming a full-scale 378 crore heist by 9:40 a.m. And to discuss this further, I'm joined by Kanishk Gaur, who's a cybersecurity and data privacy expert. Mr. Gaur, good evening. Thank you for taking your time and joining me over here at News 9. At the very outset, I want to ask you, what do you make of this heist of this magnitude that has been pulled off in Karnataka? Of course, the Bengaluru police is now trying to unearth and join the dots as far as who exactly pulled it off. But your first reactions?
See, this is not the first time that has happened. We have seen the case of WazirX, where another crypto heist happened. And if you look at, there is primarily lack of regulation with respect to cryptocurrencies. So even if there is a cyber fraud that has happened, it's very difficult to recover the money because you don't know where the money has landed. Cryptocurrencies work through the mechanisms of dark web, where finding the originator where the money is landing, it's quite difficult. And the training of Indian law enforcement agencies, particularly on tracing crypto, is quite low. Hence, investigation is going to be equally difficult for them. And when you see such crypto heists happening, you will see money moving globally, not just within India, but into global accounts of various businesses. So it's quite difficult to find out where.
For the better understanding of our viewers, we want to understand whether these crypto companies are legally registered with the government of India. How do they operate?
See, these are crypto exchanges. So this company is not a cryptocurrency creating company. It is basically a crypto exchange which is allowing people to trade and buy cryptocurrencies, and they provide crypto wallets. So they basically provide a node in a blockchain for people to buy crypto, trade crypto. So they are not the creators. They would ultimately use different kinds of platforms which are then used for trading. Now these platforms would include like Binance. You would see other platforms which are also similar to Binance which are used. But the bigger issue is there is a case of insider theft. Now, insider theft is where an employee of a company is either social engineered or fooled, or he himself is involved in enabling the cyber fraud or scam to take place. Now, we have seen that this company has a part-time employee who is either compromised or his systems have been compromised, which has led to large level of breach. And that's why the money has been able to move from one account to multiple other accounts. Now, if you look at further investigation, you see there could be a large cybercrime group which could be involved in doing such operations. Now, typically, we have seen cybercrime groups like Lazarus, which are globally well known for crypto heists, and they were figured in previous list which has been published by FBI in terms of doing crypto scams and taking out money from multiple crypto exchange companies, similar to the one we are speaking about
right now. But Mr. Gaur, are you trying to suggest that there are no safeguards, that these crypto exchange companies are open to these breach and there can be no safeguards?
See, RBI does not authorize these companies under any regulations today. There is no government regulations which authorizes these companies to be allowing them to have crypto exchanges. So cryptocurrency is subjected to risk which the investor is facing by himself. So there is no provision for the crypto investors to basically get their money back. So that's one of the biggest issues. Now, if you look at the West, there are regulations. If you look at US, there is a regulation.
Recognized by the RBI, Mr. Gaur, for the better understanding of viewers again, under what sections of cyber law then this can be investigated? If it's not governed by the Indian laws and RBI doesn't recognize it, then what is the way forward for those who lose their money?
See, there are two ways. Either the company will own up to the loss because the company was basically the custodian for these crypto wallets, or they will use some kind of cyber insurance where the cyber insurance service provider would provide insurance and provide the claim. So the company will have to make a claim that they have lost the money. So those are the two methods. Now, if this cryptocurrency would have been regulated in India, then there could have been a regulator like RBI, which would have forced this company to take out an independent investigation, and there could have been a penalty which could have been enforced. Unfortunately, in India, there is no law. So the question of penalty does not come into the picture. And the Indian IT Act today is extremely weak. So basically, putting any kind of punishments or taking any legal measures against crypto companies, it's very difficult. So crypto companies, crypto exchanges are subjected to large amount of risk, and particularly crypto investors in India are subjected to very large risk. And that's the risk they have to learn with. Otherwise, crypto has to be regulated. There has to be a regulator, just like you have for stock exchange, just like you have for alternate investments which are made in the market. You've got regulators. Unfortunately, that is not the scenario for crypto. Hence, the investors will bear losses. The company which is basically lost 378 crore rupees, they will have to bear loss, or they could have an insurance who would basically help them in terms of making a claim, but you don't know how much of money they will be able to get back. Right now, what the company has done is they have launched something called as the efforts to recover the money, and in that return, they will give them some amount of the cryptocurrency.
But in the absence of a regulator, then these companies are left to fend for themselves. And also take us through, how do these breaches actually happen? Like, how do these companies end up falling a prey or walk into the cyber fraud space?
See, crypto wallets have certain level of encryption. And unlike a traditional cybersecurity, you use principles of blockchain, and the principles of blockchain have to be audited. Now in India, so far, there have been no regulations which talks about blockchain-based audits to be carried out by cryptocurrencies. But if you look at the rest of the world, where you have companies who are basically crypto exchanges or are basically creating new cryptocurrencies, like if you look at Luxembourg, there are mechanisms for cybersecurity audits to be done for crypto companies or companies which are basically creating mechanisms for getting in investors. So far, there are no government guidelines or any kind of security measure or best practice that have to be taken care by cryptocurrencies. Hence, any crypto exchange is not subjected to any kind of external audit, investigations. It is only after a cyber heist has happened that they are doing forensic audit or investigations. So the bar is set extremely low for cryptocurrencies in India. And that's why WazirX and now this company, CoinDCX, is facing so much amount of pressure because cybersecurity is something which they have not thought about in the past, and that's why cyber criminals are going after them. And you would see this continue to happen. Mark my word, you would see this continue to happen because there's no law, there is no guideline for cybersecurity audit or investigation. That's why cryptocurrencies in India would be subjected to large amount of cyber frauds, and there could be other companies as well in India who could be facing similar cyber frauds, and people who have invested in these cryptocurrency exchanges could be subjected to large amount of money they could be losing out.
Right. So in the absence of a regulatory body, all these companies or companies like this one end up being vulnerable to these cyber frauds and heists. Thank you, Mr. Gaur, for taking our time and joining me over here and sharing your expertise on the story that we were tracking very closely. Now, Kerala Pradesh Congress Committee on Wednesday took out a march to the Raj Bhavan here to express a strong protest against the arrest of 2 Catholic nuns in BJP-ruled Chhattisgarh. Nuns Preeti Mary and Vandana Francis, along with Sukaman Mandavi, were arrested at Durg railway station on 25th July following a complaint by a local Bajrang Dal functionary who accused them of forcibly converting 3 girls from Narayanpur and trafficking them. Prominent leaders of the Congress state unit led by KPCC Chief Sunny Joseph and opposition leader V.D. Sathisan marched to the official residence of the Governor Rajendra Vishwanathan Arlekar, urging him to convey the state's strong protest over the incident to the centre. The leaders held a black banner in their hand and raised slogans against the action of the Chhattisgarh police. Addressing the party workers, Sathisan said that the atrocities against the Catholic nuns and their arrest were anti-democratic and unconstitutional acts. The arrest of the two nuns have seen a widespread protest across the nation, where several political parties and functionaries from the Catholic community have strongly condemned the arrest of two Catholic nuns in Chhattisgarh's Durg. They are questioning the democratic rights being compromised with. And now moving on to some other stories that we are tracking is where tension escalated in Kannada film industry as actor and reality television star Pratham filed a police complaint at the Dodaballapura police station alleging that he was threatened with a knife by notorious gangster Gautam. Now, if reports are to be believed, the threats were in response to Pratham's comments on actor Darshan, who is the main accused in the Renugaswamy murder case. Gautam, who has a history of criminal associations, was previously linked to gangster Bharat, with whom he was arrested for allegedly plotting the murder of Kannada superstar Yash. Now, following Bharat's encounter death, Gautam is now said to have joined hands with another criminal figure named Raghu. Pratham alleged Raghu, along with a woman named Yashashvi, arrived in a convoy of 10 vehicles, creating a show of intimidation. The Dodaballapura police are investigating the fresh threat and tracking Gautam's movements. Now, chiseled body, rugged look, rocking a buzz cut with an action-packed performance. That's how anyone would describe Vijay Deverakonda's latest release, Kingdom. The much-anticipated film Kingdom has finally hit theatres today. With the runtime of 160 minutes, the movie is directed by Gautam Tinnanuri, in which Deverakonda stars with Bhagyashree Borse, who is the female lead. The movie is an action-packed thriller where Vijay stars as Surya, a police officer who is sent to infiltrate a smuggling ring that has close ties to his brother Siva, a wanted criminal. With a reported budget of around 100 crores, the movie has already created an online buzz. Actress Rashmika Mandana has also tweeted about the movie, praising him. She wrote, "I know how much this means to you and all those who love you." Interestingly, Rashmika also wrote Manam Kotinam, which essentially translates to "We nailed it." The movie, originally slated for March 30th release on 2025, the film was later rescheduled to 30th May and then again to 4th July. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the broadcast. Lots more lined up. Stay tuned and keep watching News 9.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Associate sponsor Anchor Toothpaste, नए जमाने की नई सुरक्षा.
Light, camera, and action. Kick back, relax, grab your favorite snack because News 9 is here with your weekend dose of entertainment. It's time to take a deeper dive into the buzzworthy happenings of the entertainment world. From celebrity gossips to exclusive conversations, from nostalgic moments to News 9's pick of the week, don't worry, we've got you covered here. And I hope you've grabbed your popcorn by now because News 9